Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly. We're back with another On the Water with Dustin White. Dustin, how are you?
Marvin, doing well, enjoying some warm weather, but not necessarily oppressively hot weather here in Wyoming. How about you?
I'm getting there. So, it's kind of funny. You picked up a little bit of elevation change going from Jekyll Island back to Casper.
Just a bit, yeah. A bit of elevation and a lot less humidity. But we're back in the saddle and been kind of rock and rolling here the last few weeks.
Yeah, and so you've been carping mostly, right?
Yeah, a lot of carping now. We're kind of hitting the tail end. It's kind of the twilight of the season for us. Generally, if our evenings stay warm, that it'll hold on a little bit longer. But, when you start getting those temp inversions at night, that's what kind of starts to slow some stuff down for it. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of carping the last few weeks, been running the mile as well. So, we're kind of rocking and rolling on all fronts. So, can't complain. Excited about it.
Yeah. And so on the carp front, do you have any, like the equivalent of a mulberry hatch going on right now? Cottonseed hatch, I guess, would probably be what it is. Or are you just kind of targeting them a little bit more conventionally?
Yeah, we be conventional here. We don't get too much of a cottonwood seed, specifically here on Pathfinder or Alcova. If we went just down the road a little bit on Glendo, that reservoir can get a bit of that cotton seed hatch or cottonwood seed hatch, and that'll work there. A lot of biomass there on that reservoir. A bit smaller fish that kind of comes with that territory. But on Pathfinder and Alcova, the two reservoirs that are right in our backyard, pretty conventional. We're able to get them in the morning, eating on the surface before that temp really starts to warm up the water. Typical sort of setup. Turk's tarantula is kind of a pretty tried and true go-to fly for us early in the morning. But then once we come off that, we're pretty, standard crustacean and leech presentations to those fish, looking at them as they start to move on the flats. So, yeah, usually, the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, it's been probably late morning when those fish have been moving on to the flats. That's been it. Got a little funkier the weekend. We had a massive walleye tournament, so there were a lot of boats out, so that kind of made the fish a little bit spooky, but we're back to some normal fishing now at the moment.
Yeah, they're not used to seeing the sparkle boats, are they?
No, not at all. And it was a lot of boats by tenfold. What we normally call a busy day, multiply that by about 10, and they were kind of everywhere. So that was a little bit of a hiccup in it, but other than that, yeah, we're pretty well normal with them, and like I said, I think we'll have a little bit of a longer season than typical, just because those temps have been holding on for us, so we're grateful for that.
Yeah, and so what are you seeing on the North Platte?
Yeah, so on the mile, a lot of Tricos are popping. We've had some rains, and so there's a lot of annelids in the water. So pretty much nymphing at this point on the mile. Some caddis popping here or there. Still have some PMDs holding on, but early in the morning Tricos are tried and true. Moved down in the river system. Thankfully, we finally had a bit of a drop on Fremont Canyon. So folks that are out wanting to wade fish that's probably been our best dry fly fishing at the moment. So if you are really, really, really hardcore wanting to throw dries, I'd say Fremont Canyon is a really good bet. Those flows are back into a manageable wade right now. But even on the reef, our hopper fishing is stable. It's kind of solid. I wouldn't say it's lights out, but it's definitely worthwhile to do early in the mornings. Those Tricos, as that spinner fall starts to happen, fish are starting to look up there. And then throughout the day, same thing, annelids, caddis, some PMDs, that'll work on that front.
Very, very cool. And, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. We didn't have one this time, but send us your questions, and if we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag. We are drawing for a half a day of fishing with Dustin, and however, whatever's easiest for you. You want to DM us on social media, you want to email me, any way you want to send us the questions, it's awesome. And Dustin, as we always do, we want to give a shout out to a local restaurant / watering hole. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Fire Rock Restaurant is a local haunt for sure. That's probably one of a few restaurants that if you want a classy night, a bit when you get off the water with just a fantastic meal, killer bar service, incredible cocktails, and a great draft list. That's always where we send folks. But the great thing about it is, as us guides, you can easily roll in your chacos, shorts, and sun shirt, and you're not going to have anyone bat an eye about it too. So it's kind of a cool spot to where if you want that fancier vibe, there's an option there. But they've got a great patio, and like I said, just a wonderful bar and bar staff there that takes care of us. So if folks are going there, they're Manhattans. I strongly recommend for the drink, and then. Marvin, I tend to be a creature of habit, so I kind of flip back and forth between their pork chop that they do a bourbon applesauce kind of chutney on it, as well as they have a kind of a spicy honey glaze cedar plank salmon. So I kind of bounce back and forth between the two of those, but that's definitely a spot that you'll see us fishing guides take our dates to when we get off the water.
Very neat. What you would call Casper Resort Casual.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's always nice to know you can go a place like that and you don't walk in the door and they make you put on a blazer that they just pull off the rack for you, right?
Exactly. No, yeah, it's not like that. You can definitely dress up there if you want to, but plenty of us guides we'll roll in and get a cocktail when we get off the water, and sit at the bar, munch on some food. It's a great spot. And so anytime a client says, hey, we want kind of a fancier sort of sit down, that always makes the short list in terms of just really quality food, good variety. Obviously, if you want to, stay down Main Street, so to speak, in terms of the menu, you can get a killer steak there as well. But they give you enough options where you can deviate into some other culinary expressions that's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, well, there you go. And before I let you go, you want to let folks know kind of, what your guide calendar looks like kind of coming into the home stretch and how to reach out and get on the books and all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, fall's definitely pretty full, but there's some dates still open. As you remember, Marvin, our fall is just a dynamic time, especially if folks are wanting to throw dries, strip streamers. That is the time to do it. And so, a couple dates still open if someone wants to do that. I'd highly recommend it. But you can give our shop call at 307-234-6905, or you can find me on Instagram at Dustin James White. Drop me a message, and I'll be happy to get you on the books.
There you go. Well, as I say, folks, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dustin.
Tight lines, Marvin. Thanks so much.